And it's begun. Hey, everyone. This is a fun recording today. We're actually doing a test run of a new program that we will potentially be using for recording. And I'm here with Cam Potter. It's right, Potter, right? Not Potter, Potter.
You got it.
Cam Potter of Sex Talk with My Mom podcast. Cam also runs the Pleasure Podcast Network that we, Shameless Sex, are a part of. And we love Cam. Cam, you're the best. You do so many wonderful things for us.
You're the best.
Yeah, I know I am, but you are too. So, and so this is a little quickie. We're going to play around with some things and just kind of see like what's happening with Cam's sex life. So he has a podcast with his mom called Sex Talk with My Mom. And Cam, you're also a clown and a mime, I believe, and a comedian. So
Yep.
how one, I guess people probably want to know how you became a clown and a mime, but also how does a clown and a mime start a sex talk podcast with their mother?
Yeah, it seems pretty contradictory that a mime would have a podcast, wouldn't it?
Yes, yeah, you would think. Yeah, they don't really speak, right?
Yes. Oh man. So what are you curious about? How am I a clown, or how am I doing a sex podcast with my mom?
I mean, how does one become a clown and a mime, but then how does a clown and a mime become a sex podcaster with their mother?
It's a great question. I found I moved to LA. I was doing a bunch of different types of comedy, and I did improv, I did sketch, I did stand up, and then I discovered clowning, and I fell in love head over heels. It's just a silly way of goofing around, and the way that I prefer to laugh with my friends and my family. So I was like, oh, that's the one for me. And then I just went down the rabbit hole and spent way too much money taking clown classes and going to a clown school. And then, I actually didn't graduate because
You didn't graduate clown school?
no, I'm a clown school dropout because they moved the clown school to Italy after the first year.
Oh,
So, yeah, she was like, no, you are
they don't have a
good
clown
enough clown."
GED or anything like that?
I think they might, and I didn't get it.
Oh, you failed. So you didn't drop. You're a clown. You're not a dropout. You just kind of got screwed.
A reject.
A reject. You got rejected from clown school. So naturally, one would start a podcast talking about sex with their mother when you rejected from clown school.
So the podcast actually had been going on for about 3 years by the time I entered clown school.
Okay.
The podcast came because, well, my mother started, you know the story, but my mom started her own YouTube channel about sex and dating. And I was in college at the time, and I just saw some of the wildest videos coming out on her YouTube channel about oral sex tips, penis size, everything that you talk about on your show, that is very unusual to find your mother talking about on YouTube. And so I said, we gotta work together on this.
Oh, so you were like, Mom, stop talking about dildos and penises, or you're like, Mom, I want to join forces.
Yeah, everyone does that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I sold dildos to my mom for 12 years, but
Exactly.
that's not the common theme. I like that you're doing the mother-son thing, but yeah, I mean, I like that you went that direction instead of like, stop it, Mom. And I hear you on the show. I listen to your show. Your show is hilarious. And sometimes oh God,
thank
Mom,
you.
that definitely comes up there. But yeah, that's awesome that you did that.
Well, there was a step in between where I was talking about her videos and her books in my stand-up act. And I realized those were the jokes hitting hardest. And then I was like, I mean, it just makes sense if we're going to use the same source material. We should, give each other credit,
Yeah, I like that.
Bring my mother into the fold.
So does I'm curious if opening up about sex on the air with your mother gets you laid more. Like, do the ladies like it? Do the people you're interested in like it? I thought you liked ladies, so I said ladies. But is it a good thing, or are they a little bit like, what? That's kind of interesting.
It's a mixed bag. Some people are like, and it's hard for me to even know. I'm sure some people hear about it and they're like, what the fuck is going on with this kid talking about sex with his mom? I'm not going to go out with this guy. And I don't want to be talked about. That's probably some people, maybe the majority of people. I don't know. Then there's the other half, which is kind of like, this guy talks about sex with his mom on a weekly basis. He's got some relationship with her. Maybe this is a good indicator for our relationship. And so then it helps in that way.
I would think it's sexy. I mean, but I also get turned on by a guy going to therapy and talking about childhood wounding. I'm like, oh yeah, wet panties. But a guy who talks openly about sex with his mom obviously is more comfortable talking about sex. And in my book, like that's going to make sex so much better because this person was not only educated, but they're open in communication. It's not a shameful thing. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty hot, Kim.
Thank you,
yeah.
Amy. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna keep moving in that. Keep thinking that that's what everyone thinks.
Yeah, well, I'll speak for everyone, and I would imagine the people that are uncomfortable are just probably more traditional. That more of the mindset of like that's not normal, or this is what normal is, and here we are like, what is normal in our world? There is no normal over here,
right? Exactly, and it's hard to even. I would have a tough time being in a relationship with someone who's very conservative around talking about sex at the least.
Oh yeah. Me too.
I don't. At this point,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how that would work. That would just me. Yeah, that would not. I did date when I opened up the sex shop, but a couple of years after opening it, I did date someone that thought they were just going to like hook up with me and thought it would just be real fun to hook up with the girl that sells sex toys. But we ended up falling in love, and it was very challenging for them to have me teaching sex ed workshops talking about anal sex. And I mean, I'm fully clothed. I'm not doing anything crazy, but it was still somewhat triggering for them because I think that it just brought up their insecurities, their ideas of like, this is what should be private. And it's like, not in my world. It's one thing if you're like, Amy, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's doing, porn and, having sex with other people for a living. Mm-hmm. But I'm not doing that. I'm just educating people about sex. So anyways, not about me. I have another question for you. I'm pretty sure your mom has a lot of sex or has had a lot of sex. How does it feel to know that your mother has more sex than you and knows more about sex than you do?
Oh my God. Oh my God. At this point, I'm actually educating her on vibrators.
Nice.
And so there are some areas where I got the fucking upper hand. But that's mainly because I'm dealing with advertisers and stuff like that, and she does not deal with that. So no, but I think it's great that she has a vibrant sex life. And I think it says more about my sex life than about her sex life. It's not like she's fucking like a rabbit. It's more like I'm a fucking like a monk.
Oh my God. But how do monks fuck? They don't.
They don't.
So you're saying you're not having a lot of sex, Cam, huh?
I'm not having a lot of sex. I'm getting to the point, and maybe you can tell me a little. Maybe you can drop some knowledge on me. I think I'm a demisexual.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have a high sex drive, but I choose not to engage with it unless I'm in a very in a situation where I'm very at ease, where I can trust the person. And yeah.
So demisexual folks is within the asexual spectrum, and they are people that need they feel attraction when there's connection, and they need that safety of or maybe it's not safety, it's not the word, but they need that connection to feel the attraction, and you can still be horny and have turn on and arousal and all those things separate or as part of that too, but you. Without the connection, it's like you don't feel attraction. Like some people will look at a hot person like, oh yeah, I want to fuck that, but to actually feel the attraction to them, there has to be some foundation. Is that what you're saying? Or
well, then when you say it like that, I'm like, no, I still can get off to like porn or something like that. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's necessarily accurate.
But I see. So this isn't my area of specialty. I know I have some information about the asexual spectrum or the ace spectrum, but or continuum, if you want to kind of expand it. But I don't know if someone who says they're demisexual wouldn't watch porn and still feel arousal. It might be like, I think it's different for everyone, and maybe it is more about the people you're going to actually be in front of in personal relationships. Mm-hmm, But at any rate, you're saying you need to feel really safe. I do too. I don't identify as demisexual, but I definitely think safety is really important.
Yeah, right. So I guess why, I don't know, maybe because I'm a dude, then I feel a little strange being like, no, I don't want to have sex unless I really feel safe in this situation. And I want to get to know you. And I think most dudes are like, oh my God, a hole? I'll have sex with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm not demisexual, but I'm just doing my own thing.
Did you ever look into oh, well, we had Jaya on our podcast. Did you ever listen to her podcast or look at her erotic blueprint work?
I did see the blueprint work. I've never listened to her podcast though.
So she was on episode 126, and we love this episode. And she
of
goes over
our
show.
Podcast. Yeah.
But she's
I think I
guested
did
on a
listen
bunch.
to that. Yeah.
And
Okay.
so she has that free quiz that you can take, and she breaks down all these different categories of how people feel attraction and arousal. Actually, not attraction, it's arousal, and some more like our sex drive and what the desire to have sex or connect or be intimate or be sensual. Maybe it's not sex, but and the 5 categories are sexual, sensual, kinky, energetic, and shapeshifter. A sexual person, I see a naked body. Oh yeah, I'm turned on. I want to fuck. You know, I scored 0 on sexual. I see a naked body. I don't really feel anything. I scored like 90 on energetic, not 90, but I was like mostly energetic. And that's what you're speaking to.
Oh, interesting.
For me to feel turned on, it's about safety, relaxation, connection, feeling really honored, worshipped, adored, taken care of, all not like lavish gifts, but like emotionally. And then my sex drive comes online. Like some of my horniest moments are when my partner really like sees and values me. Like, hey, I want you. Yeah, he's like, if he were to just be like, I want you to come to Christmas with my family and my kids. I'm like, oh yeah, not like I'm horny about Christmas, but like I feel important. You're the same too? Yeah.
Especially if we're hooking up and she says something kind, or if I say something kind and it resonates, it makes me way harder.
Yeah.
I told that to a friend once. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? what is going on? Yeah. I was like, I'm walking out and taking a walk with her, and she's just being nice, and I'm getting erect. I don't understand what's happening. I'm not even looking at her.
Yeah. Huh. Well, and so yeah, you were speaking earlier. I'm a dude, so this feels kind of weird that I am this way because there's that pressure and that stereotype that dudes should all be in Jaya's world asexual. You should see a naked body, and therefore you want to fuck and stick something in the hole. Mm-hmm. When there's so much more there that doesn't apply to every single person just because you have a penis, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very
I like
unusual.
that. I love my energetic friends. It's fun because I feel like as an energetic, we might have more skill in really connecting with people on a deeper level because it's really important to us. Whereas a sexual might not have as much practice in that because it's less necessary, but that's a generalization. They might also but I am jealous of the sexual people who just see a naked body and they're like, you know, wet pussy, hard cock. I'm like, well, I wish I could do that.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's less about the actual arousal because the arousal will come, but it's like shutting down the prefrontal cortex or whatever is the decision maker in whether or not I pursue someone.
Yeah.
That's the biggest hindrance I have to actually having sex. I'm like, there's so many different checkpoints that need to be hit for me to feel very comfortable here. And, you know.
Yeah. I'm with you. Maybe you and I are the same person, just in different bodies.
We do both work with our moms
and
host sex podcasts.
I know, and we're both energetics. This is weird,
we're both
Cam.
Energetics.
Man, if I was single, I'd be down there right now, all over you, Cam. But you'd be like, wait, we got to get to know each other first.
That's exactly right.
Slow down, Amy. Okay. But you're so kind, and I feel so seen.
Exactly. But it is a weird thing as a dude to be like, slow down. I don't think that's a common thing to hear guys say.
It's less common, I would say, and it definitely happens. But I think whether they just feel. And here's the other thing: we're talking about heterosexual relationships. Mm-hmm. So if within that context, so I have a pussy, which is a receiving orifice that takes approximately 4 times as long to get aroused, engorged. Well, you get hard, you get clip boners, than as opposed to a penis. And our bodies have to be fully ready to receive if we are going to do penetration. Y'all don't have to do shit. You just get hard and you're ready to stick it into some things.
Exactly. Yeah.
So naturally, we need more of that emotional stuff, I think, to prepare the body for receiving.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I don't know if most guys are thinking as long term as I am. Like usually I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to feel immediately after I come? If this and usually if I don't know the person, and most dudes would feel like, okay, get the fuck out. Like, why are we here doing this right now?
Yeah.
But I think most guys just get excited by the idea of like, well, this is going to feel really good. And so let's go forward and then we'll worry about it later.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, also, folks with penises have more testosterone in their bodies, which can really function to help and create more spontaneous sex drive. I mean, you said you still feel horny and things, right? You still feel libido and desire. It's just that when it comes to connecting with people, it requires a little bit more to share your body.
I mean, it definitely is enhanced when I connect with someone. And I'll only choose to really engage in sexual acts when I'm connected.
Okay.
So I don't really know.
But when you're at home alone, you'll feel to turn on. You'll be baiting in the corner.
Yeah, I'm baiting all over the fucking place.
You're baiting. I see on this video, 4 doors behind him. Like, which is his bait room? Is he baiting in that room? All the rooms? He's got a lot of bait closets.
Exactly. These are bait closets.
Bait closets. I know. I only have one bait closet.
I was apartment hunting. I was like, I need a lot of doors for which I can go behind fucking jerk off.
In shame. So shameful. All right. I'm going to ask you a couple more questions just for fun. There are quickies with Cam. Your quickies with Cam. Cam.
I love it.
If Big Cam could give teenage Cam sex advice, what would he say?
Oh, wow. Well, I think two things. Number one is like, hey, you might just have a different approach to most guys, and that's okay. And it might actually help you in the long run, because sometimes when I'm with someone and I'm like, hey, let's slow down and get to know each other, then they're even more interested, which is a funny little irony there. Okay, so that's one.
So it's kind of like normalizing too. Like your experience is normal and just fine.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, exactly. And the second would be to communicate more of like what I'm experiencing, what I'm looking for. And yeah, because it's normal, I should be able to share that more readily.
Did you have a lot of experiences where you withheld yourself, like your wants, needs, desires, feelings?
Yeah, it was definitely something to learn. Even during sex, I was very non-vocal when I first started having sex. And the girls I was with would be like, are you enjoying this? And I'm like, yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm freaked out. I don't know what to say. I don't have the words to put into it. I don't have the words to describe the amount of pleasure I'm experiencing right now.
That's a hard vocabulary for a young person to develop. Like, oh my God, I love this so much. And then, especially if you learn sex from porn, and you're like, what am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to say, this is the best. I love having 5 dicks in my ass, like they say in porn,
Yes, exactly.
What about sound? Were you quiet? Like you didn't make, like, was your orgasm, like, did you have a kind of stunted sound?
Completely. Well, I think I would. So especially when I first started off, I was coming very quickly. And so I didn't want to even indicate the fact that I was coming at all. So I would just be fucking silent, and then we'd keep having sex. And be like, are you enjoying this? I'd be like, yeah, it came like 10 minutes ago. It's like, why are we still having sex? Yeah. I'm like, I'm flaccid as hell right now.
That's so different from fake. Like you didn't fake orgasms. You just pretended like it didn't happen.
Yeah, trying to fly under the radar.
I don't think I've really. Maybe I've experienced it, but I don't know a lot of people who've done that. Was your cock still hard too? You're young.
When I was young, it was just it would just stay up, and so it would be fine. It wouldn't feel that comfortable for me though, because it gets super sensitive. But
yeah.
I was like, fuck it. She's enjoying it. Let's keep going.
So there's an example of how penis owners also have compliant sex. Like this doesn't feel that great on my body, but I'm going to keep doing it to please this person. And, in our world, in shameless sex, we hear a lot more of that from vulva owning individuals. And yet, obviously, it's a lot of people are doing it, like Cam's over here coming and not saying anything about it. So, probably not anymore, but then.
Yeah, no, now it's very vocal. Everyone knows
like,
what's going on.
Are you screaming?
She's like, tone it down.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone get this guy a ball gag. Hurry up. Oh, nice. Yeah. Super vocal. All right. So, last question here, because we're making this, like I said, a quickie. So from everything you've learned over the years, dear Cam Potter, What is your top sex advice for listeners? So we talked about kind of what Big Cam would say to the young people. Maybe it's the same thing to young Cam. What would you say, though, if you could choose one or two things to really share as your top sex advice for people listening?
Yeah, so there are the obvious ones, which are like, communicate, talk about STDs or STIs beforehand, even outside of the bedroom, and birth control. These are very obvious. Maybe okay. I'll give a specific tip. 2 tips.
I love specific tips. Ooh, 2.
2 tips that I found super super helpful. Okay, number 1, Nina Hartley taught me this. She said, the way you touch a clit is the way you touch the tip of your nose. You would never just smash the fucking nose in like this. It's just like a very delicate touch. It's just like if you start like that, that's the type of sensitivity that most clits want. Very light.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so that was one that helped me out. And then 2 was taught to me by the Pleasure Mechanics. Shout out to Chris from the Pleasure Mechanics, who said they kind of taught me how to do an erotic massage. And they were like, just start away from the genitals and start pushing the blood towards the genitals.
Ooh, I love that.
Yes, they're outside in. And then just keep doing that. Even when you get to the genitals, go to the outside layer and then work itself in. And then it speeds up everything. Like, it'll lead to, in my experience, it's helped people get to orgasm much quicker than they said they're used to.
Yeah, adds more. Yeah, well, and especially we're talking about. So if someone has a lot of arousal, like you're really turned on, you feel like you're going to come really quickly, you actually want to do the opposite, probably pull the energy out of the genitals into the body.
Totally.
But what you're talking about is like foreplay and warm up. And as someone who, as an energetic who takes a long time to really like drop in and for my body to feel, arousal, that is exactly what I need, is working with everything but my genitals and then moving into the genitals and then going really slow on the whole outside and making your way in. And I think that I love that. We always, on our Shameless Sex Talk I constantly am talking about pussy massage. I'm obsessed with it. April's like, oh my God, pussy massage, I hate it. April doesn't even like any massage. So
no way.
But it's awesome. And you can do cock massage, and instead of like, I'm going to make you come, give you an HJ, it's more like I'm going to build up the arousal here and take my time. And who knows, it might not even result in orgasm or penetration.
See, so what I've discovered is that's kind of what I need to get off, because I am super sensitive. So if we just went right to intercourse, not sex, but just right to intercourse, then I would just fucking come immediately, and the whole thing, it's not fun for anyone. But if there's like a ton of foreplay going on, everyone wins in this situation.
Yeah. I love men who like foreplay. Yay!
Yeah.
Foreplay. And when we're talking foreplay, guys, we're not talking like 30 seconds here. We're talking like many, many minutes.
Yeah.
And there's so many things you can do. It's not just like kissing and rub the shoulder and lick the nipple, and now we're having penetration. And well, Cam, fun tip for you, if you're feeling a lot of arousal in your genitals, use the opposite of that. Try to pull that energy outward. So that can be through various movements that kind of bring the genitals in through some touch, but then you're kind of moving the energy up into your lower belly, into the body, into your thighs, so that it kind of moves. And then your brain, your focus follows that energy line, as opposed to staying focused on your cock or your genitals, because if you stay focused there, then boom, explosions.
Exactly. Yes. I love this tip. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome.
If you have other tips, please share them with me.
Send them your way. Cool.
Send them my way.
Yep, I have your phone number. Sometimes I send you messages at like 10 p.m. So ask and you shall receive, Cam.
Literally, if you have anything, any time of day, I'm willing to take these tips.
You have Do Not Disturb, so you can always block me out. Yes, everyone, there are people that don't want to hear from Amy.
Oh my God, it's for anyone.
Yes, yeah, they're like, you can call me. All right, anyways, so Cam, tell our listeners how they can find your awesome podcast, Sex Talk with My Mom. Everyone, if you don't know, I already said at the beginning, it's amazing, it's entertaining, it's hilarious, and it's educational too.
Thank you. It's called Sex Talk with My Mom. Wherever you're listening to this, you could listen to that.
That's easy.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
On all the apps. Any other plugs for them to go find you, stalk you, hunt you down, date you, all the things?
slide on in at Single Cam Comedy, and hopefully then that username will change from Single Cam Comedy to Dating Cam Comedy.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Well, then you have to have multiple usernames, I guess. Well, because Single Cam will transition. So, well, someday
rename.
Cam. Yeah,
Someday.
rename. Rebranded. Someday Cam will be rebranded. But until then, it's Single Cam Comedy. All right, everyone. Thanks for playing with us in this new, whatever you call this database for how we will potentially be recording. Cam, thank you for joining us. And our
Thanks for
listeners.
having me.
Yeah, I don't know. This will be on YouTube probably, but who knows? Maybe some other places. Maybe it'll be on Shameless Sex. Who knows? All right, everyone. What does April just say at the end? She says, go give us 5 stars on iTunes if you love us. It helps people find us. Please, please, please. We love you. We love 5 stars. And you could just put an emoji in there. It really helps us. And she also says, oh, we will see you next Tuesday because we release an episode every Tuesday on Shameless Sex and sometimes bonus episodes on a Friday. And, oh, the last thing she says is, ciao for now.
Ciao for now.